Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. I want to talk to you a little bit about freight and how we pick it and how we run it and that type of thing, because a lot of new owner-operators out there right now, you just look around the industry, probably, I don't know how many new owner-operators bought trucks in the past year and put them on the road, and there's different ways to pick freight, and the title of the video, they're not all bangers, some are better than others. You learn your lanes, you learn how you're going to get in and out of places, and I'll tell you the best thing you can do for yourself is, make connections, and listen to the people that know, what they're talking about and have been doing it for a long time. There's keys to success of not having to learn everything the hard way, because like where I'm at, I can book freight if I want to, but over time I have learned that for me, sitting around watching the load board all day is not that intriguing. The people that are booking the freight for me, they know where I want to go, they know the prices I want to run for, and I would rather have them put in the work for no extra cost. It doesn't cost me anything to have them book the freight for me. So there's an added advantage. I know when you first become an owner-operator, I know when I first became an owner-operator, it was all about picking that load board freight. I get to choose where I go. I thought I was killing it. But then I realized I'm actually making less money picking my own freight than having someone that knows how to do it, that does it all day, do it for me. I don't know. If you want the freedom, I get it. Do you. But I think if you got a good dispatch, I think you can make more money than you can just sitting there refreshing load board all day, because I know when freight is tight. Like right now, we're in a great freight market, and that's a little, that's one of those things with like the new guys coming in. I'm not faulting you for it in any way, because you came into a great market. I can't, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, well, you're going to learn the hard way, blah, blah, blah. You learn with what you got to learn with, but for me, over time, I have learned that I just do better. I just do better letting them book the freight, because right now we're in a booming freight market. Now, when freight gets tighter, you will see that you're missing out on loads by trying to book your own freight sometimes, because going down the road, you can't be refreshing, calling on loads going down the road. I see guys trying it sometimes, with their yellow pad on the steering wheel and their Bluetooth going and trying to look up Google Maps. Like, it's not a good look, honestly. But for me, as far as freight goes, you number one, experiment at first. And you guys that are coming in right now, you guys that are new to the industry, whoo-wee, boy, you got a banger of a time to be learning lanes, because almost all the lanes are paying really good right now. And when I say really good now, like if you go to Florida and you get $1.50 a mile out of Florida, that's good right now. Honestly, historically, you'd probably be getting $1 a mile out of there right now. There's some other areas of the country that are doing really good right now, comparative. Now when you're getting $2 a mile out of certain areas and you're like, oh man, this is horrible. I'm getting $4 a mile over here. But that's where the video comes in. They're not all bangers. Like I've made videos about backhauls. You usually get the money going in or you get the money coming out. You very rarely get it both ways. Some guys work triangles or squares or rectangles or parallelograms or whatever. And if that works for them, good for them, because typically what that does is, instead of taking a good load out and then getting your head knocked off coming back on a backhaul, you run that square or that triangle, and you typically get like one good load, a mediocre load, and then a lower paying load. Or maybe you start out on a lower paying load to a good area, good paying load, mediocre load coming back. So me personally, I like to straight out and straight back. I don't mess with the mediocre loads a lot of times. I come out of Minnesota, which is typically a good freight market, and I typically, I run a lane to, I got like 4 or 5 lanes I run, and that's it. I run down to like Dallas from Minneapolis, and then I work, if that ain't a lane, My most productive lane's probably like Minnesota to New Jersey. I have another lane I run down to like North Carolina, and then like Georgia, maybe down to Florida if it's there. But that's typically my lanes I run, and I like to go straight out, straight back. Now that back haul can be a little rough sometimes out of those areas because it's just how it is. It's seasonal, and like I say, they're not all bangers. I know if I'm getting $4 or $5 out of Minnesota to go to Massachusetts, I could probably expect $1.50 out of Massachusetts. And I know a lot of guys that that are new to the game, and they just think, oh my God, how could you haul for $1.50? And I'm like, well, that's why I recommend you build an efficient operation, because there are going to come times, and I shouldn't say they're going to come times because I don't predict the future. I shouldn't even get into that. There have been times when $1.50 on a backhaul was a reasonable rate, honestly. Now, I'm not going to predict the future. I'm not going to tell you rates are going up or rates are going down. No one knows. It's just like predicting the stock market. If there's somebody had it all figured out, there would be 100 billionaires in the trucking industry right now, and it's just not, because you can't time it that well. But there's a lot of guys out here right now. I get people ask me about loads that I put on the weekly recap. And they'll ask me like, hey, well, why are you taking, $1.80 a mile? Like, don't you have standards? And I'm like, yes, I do have standards. My standard is I pick the best available load at the time that works with me, that works for me. That's how I pick freight. I don't sit around second guess myself. Oh, I've hauled a load for $2.50 a mile. I should turn my, throw my keys out the window and walk away. It's just not how it works. Like, I'll give you a good example right now, okay? I got a backhaul. I had more than two, but I had two backhaul options that could get me back to a good paying load, okay? Back to Minnesota. Y'all know how I like to do, out and back. I like to keep my customers happy. That's the key. I built relationships with those people in Minnesota, and that's why I run straight out, straight back, because they want their freight moved. They don't want me out here running zigzag patterns all over the country. I build relationships with people that want their freight moved, and I move their freight for them, and then I figure out how I'm going to get back to pick up more of their freight for them. It's a great way to build relationships. So I had an option. I said, forget miles, forget all that. Let's just talk gross revenue. There was a load, $2,500 gross revenue. It runs back, it delivers on a Saturday, okay? Second load paid $2,800, but it didn't deliver till Monday. So don't always get caught up in the gross or the per mile. Figure out what works best for you. Because I have a good paying load in Minnesota I can pick up Saturday. So why would I want to skip out on the good paying load for $300 more and wait till Monday to deliver? See, I took a $300 hit on a load that delivers on Saturday. So see, I sacrificed a little bit of gross for time. You see what I'm saying? So you really have to factor in the best load that's available for you at the time. And that's the way, for me anyway, that's the way I truck without regrets. I don't sit around going, boy, I regret that decision. I regret that. I picked the best one at the time. If I have to deadhead to get it to a better load, I'll deadhead. I don't like deadheading a lot, but let's face it, it's all about, like weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly earnings. Don't get caught up in the now. When people start thinking about the next load too much and they put too much thought into the next one, okay, I know I'm taking backhauls back to Minnesota. I take them for what they're worth. I look at the area before I even before I take the load out of Minnesota. I look at the area it's going. I go straight to the load board. I search loads coming straight back to Minnesota. That way I know my backhaul rate, what it's going to be. Because I want to get that over with. Just book that backhaul and get me back. So look a little further. It's like when you're driving your truck. I want to use an analogy here. When you're driving your truck, you look past the hood, right? You look down the road as far as you can. That's how I like thinking about freight. As far out in advance as I can. Because, I took that load that delivered Saturday. So already I lost $300 on gross on that. but I save myself Sunday and Monday morning. And as you guys know, you guys that book a lot of freight, a lot of times Monday morning ain't the best time to be booking freight. Yeah, the brokers come in, they fire up the computer, they throw some freight up there, but most guys that have took off the weekend or are sitting on, they delivered on a weekend, they're going to be hunting loads on Monday morning. So, you know, I'm a fan of weekend. If I can get it off on a weekend and get it on a weekend, we're winning, because a lot of guys book weekend loads. You know, they'll book a load on Friday that delivers Monday. And see, I like that plan. I'm not against a weekend load, but for me, I find it more profitable if I can get it off on a weekend and get reloaded on a weekend, because you get weekend premium, or at least you should be. Always factor that in when you're getting unloaded and reloaded on a weekend. There's not as much competition because people are typically sitting on loads or sitting at the house. So that's just a little bit of insight on loads. I don't know everything about it, I promise you that. So it's just one man's opinion on it all. I hope this helps somebody out there, just kind of get the right mindset. I'm not saying go haul backhauls for cheap. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying keep in mind that not every load can be a banger, because even if every load is a banger, there's probably a reason. You're probably deadheading all the way back to get another banger, and let's face it, deadhead miles count. So if I'm deadheading 200 miles to get a load that's only going 400 miles down the road, that's a 600 mile load now. That's how I look at it. Not everybody does, but that's how I look at it. I appreciate everybody watching. I'm just rambling about loads at this point, but I hope somebody got something out of it. If you made it this far, give me the thumbs up. Leave a comment down there. Check out the description. A lot of stuff going on down there. I got merch. I got Mudflap. I got another YouTube channel. I got a TikTok account. I got Twitter. I'm a busy man. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate everybody. If you enjoy it, think about subscribing. Later. Take care of each other, please. Bye.